Hello and welcome to your 7 minutes a day of healthy hips. So just a quick sequence here to make sure our hips stay mobile, strong, so that they can stay healthy and we can keep moving. So you can allow yourself to get ready. You just need a little bit of floor space. We're always going to start with breathing. I like hands around the waist, fingers wrapped around the front, thumbs around back, and we try and expand the thumbs, the fingers with the inhale, and then nice long exhale. In through the nose, expand, inflate the waist. Big long exhale. Couple more here. So breathing in this way is really good to get our spinal stabilizers turned on. That way our hips stay nice and stable as we move our legs. And then our bigger prime movers can do their jobs and we have overall less tension in the body. So any movement practice, I always start with these nice big inhales, nice big exhales, really getting the diaphragm turned on and working. Next, like step the feet just a little bit wider. We're going to start with some standing rolls. So coming high onto the ball of the right toe, we're going to turn and look over the left shoulder. And then coming back through center, we'll go the opposite way. Just looking to see as far as you can with your eyes, noticing that every time you turn, you might get a little bit further. Just a couple more here. This is a really great way to start working yourself up to being able to roll on the ground. Last one. Perfect. Now you can come down onto the ground, or if you prefer using a chair, we're just going to start with a little bit of rocking here. So hands on the chair, or you're on all fours on hands and knees on the ground. You're going to look up towards the ceiling and we're going to rock back and forth. Really let your gaze be as high as possible to help reset the upper spine. And then really making sure as you rock back, don't let your tailbone curl under. We want to make sure that we're keeping our spine nice and neutral through this rock, opening up into the hamstrings, working on compression at the hips, not rounding of the back. 2 more. And then we're going to change up the variation here. So I'm going to come down onto the ground for this next one. You can continue working from the chair if that's better for you. Finding our weight equally distributed, we're going to send one leg back behind us here and find that rock again, back and forth, lifting the leg as we come back and forth. So this is really good for helping with our pelvic stability. So if you find that as you're walking, or if you go to balance, lifting one leg and your entire hip lifts, this is a really good way to start bringing some more stability in. Let's just do 2 more here. And then we'll switch to the other side. Reaching the opposite leg back behind us. Again, gaze chest up as high as we can towards the ceiling. Now you might just be a little bit more straightforward, or maybe even just beyond your fingertips. All good. Wherever you are, that's where you are. You're just working. Take note, and then maybe after a week of doing these movements every day, maybe you'll start to notice that your gaze is landing a little bit higher. Just go 2 more here. And then coming back onto hands and knees, I'm just going to turn myself here so you can see me a little bit better. I'm going to draw the knees a little bit wider than hip width distance, and we can keep our big toes together. We're going to do some cat-cows. So lifting the sit bones, lifting the heart, lifting the gaze, drawing the shoulders away from the ears, and then rounding through. Again, you could do this from standing. You just want to make sure you've stepped your feet a little bit wider than hip width distance. Couple more times. And then once again, we're going to find our rock. So now you're going to come into a nice neutral spine, send your sit bones back towards your heels as we draw back and forth. This just gets into our inner legs a little bit more. Helps turn on our glutes a little bit as well with the legs wider than hip width distance. For 3, 2, it's our last one here. And then knees can come back together. You can lift yourself up. We're gonna bring one leg forward. This can be just a little bit wider than hip width distance, so not right in front of the hip, but out slightly. We're gonna find a hinge forward and then back up. So change my angle again for you here. You wanna think about sitting back, inviting some length into the bottom and back of your leg while compressing at the front of your hip. Trying to keep the hips nice and level, keeping the spine super neutral the whole time. Just honoring whatever range of motion you come across in your body. And then we'll switch sides, bringing the opposite leg forward. Again, just slightly out on an angle, and then pressing the hips back as you fold and then rise. Gliding back and down, and then rising up. Couple more here. So these are spots that get really, really tight, the back of our legs, the insides of our legs, from all the sitting we tend to do in our world. So this is just a really great way to start opening those up. Now you could do this one from standing, you're just gonna wanna elevate this bent knee somehow. So whether that's on a stack of books or all the way up on a chair, either way, and then you're just standing on the other foot. Last one here. And then last but not least, just a little bit of crawling. So we're just going to, I'm just gonna crawl in a nice little circle so that I stay in the frame. Just thinking about opposite limbs moving at the same time. If you need this more challenging, you'll tuck your toes and float your knees as you crawl, trying to keep the bum nice and low. And then if you need it a little bit less intense, you can always practice lifting opposite limbs from leaning on a chair. And then coming to rise up, maybe giving yourself a nice big pat on the back. That is 7 minutes to happy hips. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you soon.